What is going on today, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have some seriously awesome parts behind me that we're going to be taking a look at and also installing on our 2018 Ram 3500 truck, dubbed the Ultimate Tow Rig. So if by chance you guys missed the last video, you should go back and watch it. But anyway, if you haven't, I'll catch you up. What we did is we installed a temporary fuel pressure gauge to monitor what kind of lift pump pressure our factory lift pump is supplying our CP3 up here in the engine. Now what we had found is it is not keeping up by any means. Under normal driving conditions, sure, fine. Under some extreme load acceleration, it is not keeping up one bit. So what we have here, the parts behind me, we have some stuff to fix that. What we're gonna be using to fix our low fuel pressure situation is the brand new From Fleece Dodge PowerFlow lift pump assembly. This thing is pretty sweet. So this is going to take care of all of the fuel pressure that we need and give it to us at a nice, consistent, constant rate. We'll open this up. I'll let you guys know the reasons behind why we went with this lift pump in this truck's application. We'll go over those reasons, but also the big part, literally the big part of this install is something that I can't even talk, I'm so excited about. You can't have an ultimate tow rig without the ultimate fuel tank. You guys know that the fuel mileage in this thing, wouldn't even call it great. But if that's the case, we at least have to extend our stops, and the Titan fuel tank is going to handle that with ease. I believe the factory tank is somewhere around the 30-ish gallon capacity. This thing, a whopping 55-gallon capacity. Look at this beauty. So we're gonna get all of this stuff unboxed. I'll put it up here on the table. I'll give you guys a rundown, some reasons why we went with this stuff, why we went with that lift pump, some of the construction details. Real quick, before we get to some of those details, I do wanna let you guys know, if you don't already, I do have my own Fleece Performance discount code, which is good for pretty much almost anything on their website, definitely including the new lift pump. It is GREGA 18. That gives you guys 10% off of anything on their website, including that lift pump. If you guys are interested, at the end of this video, go check that out. Also, Titan is giving you guys a discount code as well. That is GREGA 15. Gives you guys 15% off and free shipping on a fuel tank, if you guys are interested in a fuel tank. Now, they make fuel tanks for Dodge, Ram, Chevy, GMC, Ford, so there's plenty of fuel tanks if you don't drive a Dodge. But trust me, these things are so awesome. So 15% off a Titan fuel tank and free shipping. Now, shipping on these things, look at how big that thing is. Shipping is not cheap on that, so make sure you guys take advantage if you guys are interested in either of those things. So anyway, let's get into the details. All right, let's look at this awesome fuel tank that we got sitting here. So, made in the USA, of course, nothing but the best from our guys at Titan. Made in the USA, lifetime warranty on these tanks. When I say this thing is heavy duty, this thing, I don't know if it's thicker than a factory fuel tank, but it very well may be, because this thing is not flimsy by any means. So they give you tank bushings, tank straps here, everything to install this thing. Really just a massive, beefy tank. What is not to love about almost doubling your fuel capacity, maybe besides the price you're gonna see pop up when you go to fill this thing up. But you have to stop less. You have to stop less, and that is the main reason. Towing that big race trailer, finding places to stop is not always the easiest. This is gonna guarantee us we can keep rolling on the road and not worry about it. These tanks are also designed to work with the factory sending unit if you so choose. So this truly is a kind of bolt-on procedure, no modifications required. The only thing that you are gonna notice or see with installing this is Titan says that it does hang about 2 inches lower than your factory tank. So if you look on this truck, I mean, this is looking completely level. You don't even see your factory tank. You have to actually go underneath the truck to kind of see it. So another 2 inches, you're really hardly even going to notice. So I'm not really worried about that one bit. So that is the Titan fuel tank in a nutshell. Just a beast of a unit. I am so pumped. I'm so happy to be putting this in the truck. Moving on to the lift pump, I know the #1 question that I'm going to get asked. Greg, you love AirDog. I do love AirDog. why are you using this lift pump and not an air dog on this truck? So the main reason that we are going to be running a fleece lift pump on this truck, my 2018, my baby, is really, it is the best option on the market right now, hands down, of installing an aftermarket lift pump. The most OEM, clean, simple, don't have to really modify or change anything. It is a completely drop-in in-tank unit. You just pop your old one out, you put this one in. You do have to run like one wire up to the front of the cab, but other than that, uses your factory fuel lines. You don't really know it's there. There's nothing from the frame rail, anything like that. These 13, I believe 13 and up, maybe 15 and up, they already have a factory water separator. We've already upgraded the fuel filter in the engine compartment, so really there's no need for better filters on this specific truck. We already have a good water separator, we already have a really good fuel filter that come pretty much OEM on these trucks, so we don't need to change anything. We can literally put this in our Titan our Titan tank and tighten it down, plug in our factory fuel lines, and this thing will support 800 horsepower. So for that main reason, we will be running a fleece lift pump in this truck. Now, I do still love all of my air dogs on all of my other trucks. I will continue to support and run them in everything else. This truck just happens to be just a slightly different application with that whole OEM fit finish in-tank pump design. So other than that, let's go over some details. Now, they do make these for all of the other years as well, completely drop-in sending unit. All you have to do is attach the little float here, not a big deal. So what they do is, in I guess maybe dumbed down terms, is they take a OEM style pump, which is really good for noise, for longevity. They used a beefed up version, and then what's better than one? Obviously two. So they have two of these stacked together. You know, Cummins stacked. Everything likes to be stacked here. So two of those OEM style pumps. Oops. I almost dropped that on the floor. That's no good. The other thing that they have done is this bucket here. They got little ports on the bottom here, and you can see those constantly suck in fuel from the bottom of the tank, eliminating a lot of the quarter tank stuff that we got going on. Also, I believe I think this is a return that feeds back into the bucket as well. So this bucket is constantly being filled with fuel. So just a super really nice. Fleece guys always got the fit and finish thing down pat. So this thing is going to supply all of the fuel that we're going to need. Again, they rate this to support up to about 800 horsepower, which we're not going to be needing 800, but we will be needing a lot more than what it's putting out. The factory is putting out right now. Let's put it that way. So if you guys are looking for a OEM fit finish, kind of what I just described, this lift pump may be for you. I would go over to fleece.com, check this thing out. Also forgot to mention lifetime warranty on this, guys. Lifetime warranty there, lifetime warranty here, just like all of the other guys as well. So super pumped. I am super pumped to actually start working on this thing and getting these parts installed. All right, so we're gonna slide underneath the truck here and get to start installing this stuff. So here's the first tank mounting strap stud up there with the nut. You're gonna have to undo that. I believe it's a 16 millimeter. And then there's also one a little bit further down here, right up top. Maybe you can see, maybe you can't. The second one's right up there. So what they do say is that you might want to uninstall the drive shaft here, and then also uninstall your wheel well liner on this side to get all of the factory connections. Now, if you look up here, this is where the filler net kind of comes down. We can kind of squeeze all the way up in here. So I'm going to try to undo the filler net connections, and also if you look up top here, you'll be able to see the electrical connections and the factory fuel line. So I think maybe because this is a dually, look at all this room for activities that we can kind of stuff ourselves up in here. So I do believe we probably won't have to remove that wheel well, and maybe not even uninstall the drive shaft. But I will keep you guys updated with that. I think the dually thing might be in favor with us tonight, but we're going to go ahead and start uninstalling some of this stuff. If you guys noticed in the beginning of the video, I have been driving this thing around on fumes. I bet you there's probably only a gallon, maybe, of fuel in this thing right now, because I knew how we were going to be uninstalling this. So there's pretty much no fuel in it now, which should make it a little bit easier. And here are the tanks side by side, guys. As you can see, it is just a little bit taller, and it does utilize quite a bit of room here in the front that on the factory truck, it's really just hanging out. There's not really anything there. You don't have to remove anything. Just a bunch of dead space, so what better way to fill it than with extra fuel capacity? So it does use a little bit of room there. All we really have to do, the stock sending unit can pretty much stay in there. We're not really using any of that. Has its own base plate. Really just have to pop in our fleece pump here. Swap over these two hoses, and then that plastic hard line connects here on the factory one, connects here on this tank. So it should go relatively smooth. They do warn you guys to wipe out the tank, so we did spend a little bit of time wiping out all of the little stuff that's still left in there. But that's it. We're gonna swap over this stuff, utilize the big heavy duty straps that they give you with these rubber isolators here, and we'll be able to put this thing in. Be good to go. After a little bit of wrestling, the Titan fuel tank is back up in there. We are actually all wrapped up. Not really a whole lot to it. Fuel tank straps are tightened down. Fuel filler neck hoses, they're all set. The fuel lines are clipped back into the top of the sending unit. I'll show you guys all that. We did also run the harness up into the engine bay, which I'll show you guys. Our temporary fuel pressure gauge hooked back up, so don't mind the little bit of mess that's inside of the engine bay right now. All this stuff just comes right back out, but we do have the harness completely done inside the engine bay as well. Behind this mess of wires here, you can see where we stuffed the relay part of the harness. That's bolted right there. We did have to extend the power leads that they gave you with that harness. They were kind of short, and you guys know I kind of like to stuff things out of the way, so the power wire kind of bolts right down here, as you can see. Kind of snakes along the front of the battery there all the way over to the corner. The leads that they gave you, or give you I should say, are not long enough to do that, but a pretty simple, easy fix. Extended those. So we're pretty much all wrapped up, done inside here. Can't really see anything just the way I like it. Just some quick underneath shots here. You can kind of see where the top of that loom, the harness goes, kind of goes right where the factory lines go up to the top of the tank there. But the tank straps are completely done, all tightened down. They worked out very, very well. Nice, these bushings are pretty nice, I'm not gonna lie. Underneath here, like I said, the fuel filler neck hoses, those are all tightened down. And on top here, you can kind of see a little bit, maybe factory fuel lines are hooked back up, harness is plugged in. So we're good to go. Not much left to do, but actually test this thing and see how it performs. Before we fire this thing up for the first time, I want to make one quick note. The only fuel that we have added is that 5-gallon jug over there. That's all we've put in this thing, and with this big of a tank, it's probably got about like that much on the bottom of the tank. So pretty interesting to see. This is gonna basically simulate as low of a fuel situation as you probably are gonna ever have. So we are going to start the pump up, start the truck up, go get fuel in this thing, see how much money I don't have in my bank account after we go fill this truck up, and then do the same test, same tune with this truck and see how it performs. So let's jump right into it. Let's fire this thing up. Well, we'll start the pump. Okay, you hear it? Now, some people really mind the noise. And again, this has got probably no fuel in it, so you're probably gonna hear a little bit more than you normally would. So we'll have to compare that to with fuel in it. But let's see here. Oh, I think it kicked off. Let's do that again. Hey, all of the fuel pressure. Looks like about 22 PSI right now. We'll see what it does when it starts up. We'll get the garage door opened up and drive, and hopefully we make it to the fuel station. Alrighty, so running, idling, hovering right around 20, going back and forth between 20, 21, 22-ish. Obviously, with the truck running, you can't hear anything, which, of course, why would you? So, we're ready. Let's hop in this thing. Alrighty, guys, this means success. We have made it to the mess of what is this truck stop, but has maintained 20-ish PSI, really a little bit more on the 21, 22 side. So I'm gonna say the low fuel fears are well checked off with this pump as well. All right, now the challenge is seeing if we can squeeze. I mean, come on, this is a big truck now. We got a big fuel tank. This is not looking good. We might have to go somewhere else. All right, we're out of there. We're back on the road to push this thing even further. Hopefully we do not run out of fuel. We're gonna head to a different place because that was just absolute mayhem. So we'll see if we make it to the next stop. Here we go. See how many gallons she'll take. I think I might have spotted our first problem here. Might have to go in for a second. I mean, and if you're looking at it from right here, it's really not hanging that low. And there it is. All right, 27.3 on the first $100. We gotta go again. Gotta love that. Alrighty, there's the second one. 21 gallons on the second trip. We are filled up. The truck is warmed up, and we are ready to hit this thing and see how much of a pressure drop we get. I'm assuming we're still gonna get a little bit, but that's okay. We will still be well within acceptable range of what kind of PSI we're looking for. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna hit it on tune 3 and then on tune 4 like we did before, merging on the highway, and I'll give you guys the results. So the fuel attendant, yes, in New Jersey, they give you a hard time about pumping your own gas. That's why I usually go to the one fuel station. The other one, the guy stands next to you and wants to pump your fuel for you, even though you told him that you got it. So we're 2 gallons short of a true 55, but he had already kind of hung it up before I could really try and get that extra 2 gallons. But I'm sure if it just clicked off, I'm assuming another 2 gallons probably was not going to be a problem. I'm going to try and hold her steady here. So it's a little hard to hold this and then do this at the nighttime, but I think I saw 18 there, which is great. All right, here we go, full throttle. Of course, of course. Why would you do that? Of course, you would. All right, so I apologize if this thing is not focusing. I'm pretty sure it dropped down to like maybe 14 or 15 on a spike and then started coming right back up. We'll try and do it again when this is a closed course. I don't know why all these people are on this closed course with me, but lots of traffic down here in Mexico this time of night. Alright guys, we are back at the shop after our little test drive. I want to give you guys a little noise sample of when the tank is full. All right, so not really loud. It did go down a little bit. Wow, that dinging is so annoying. All right, so the noise level is pretty quiet. The noise level never really bothers me. If anything, I kind of like hearing it buzz just a little bit when you turn it on. That way you actually know it's working. But anyway, that's pretty much gonna do it, guys. I'm not gonna give you my final thoughts until we drive this thing for quite a while. My thoughts right off the bat is just another 2 thumbs up from the guys at Fleece. Everything is awesome. I don't wanna be one of those guys who say like everything you put on your truck just adds all this power. It did feel like the truck picked up some power. Maybe it's just the new mod feel, you know, seat of the pants kind of thing. Maybe I'm just pushing a little bit further for to check the fuel pressure sake. But anyway, feels great, no issues. That's gonna do it, guys. If you guys are interested, I did also find out that the coupon code, I believe the discount code for the lift pump, I believe only lasts until November 9th. That's gonna do it, guys. Make sure you guys check out TitanFuelTanks.com, check out the lift pump, use my discount code and save you guys a couple bucks. That's gonna do it. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. We will see you guys very, very soon. We have to wrap this thing up. We got some news on the fuel system, something that may have been plumbed incorrectly on my part, so we're gonna jump into that tomorrow, so make sure you guys stay tuned. We also still do have a new turbo and a manifold for this truck, so make sure you guys stay tuned. Hit that like button, subscribe if you have not already. See you guys tomorrow. See you.